Wildgate.
Oh yeah, no, the sci-fi multiplayer game that I did not know that I needed in my life.
Honestly, like, okay, so I'll let you start. I'll let you start us off, Drix. What were the like? Just give me your like top 3 things that you really liked, and your like the number 1 thing you didn't like.
Oof. All right, I'm gonna base this with the same kind of preface that I've been giving everybody I've been telling this game about. You got 5 ships. Each one has a crew of 4 people, and you're exploring the galaxy, raiding locations, shooting, AI bot enemies, getting ship upgrades, and then dogfighting each other. And all of a sudden, an artifact appears that everybody's looking for, and you got to get to that artifact, and you got to walk out. So what I loved the most, it's got to be first and foremost the ship to ship combat.
Yes.
Because you're getting upgrades for your ships. Not a lot of, especially not a lot of multiplayer games do like vehicle combat really. If you're not playing like War Thunder or like World of Tanks, you don't really get, any kind of vehicle combat, ship, tank, it's Sea of Stars type vessel, where you're in space.
Siege
not a lot
combat.
of ship combat going on. Yeah. So that's pretty sweet. And not only that, but during the ship-to-ship combat, you can jump on board each other's ships. Like I love the theme of a good pirate game, but I haven't been hit. I didn't get hit hard by like Sea of Thieves or like Skull and Bones or anything like that. But I love the idea, and that it's really coming to fruition with a sci-fi paint job on it. So while it has hero shooter elements of like picking heroes and them each having abilities, the real meat and potatoes for me is duking it out with another team of spaceships. And like any good space exploration game, like one of my next top things is I love probing into space and scanning things. Like I can play, No Man's Sky as I did years ago before it got even better, but anytime you're in space, you don't know what's out there. Like you need to send a probe and you need to scan. So I was out there scanning, I was out there finding valuable minerals, fuel and stuff, and then scanning locations to see like, oh, is this worth raiding? Like, will they have, valuables here that we can equip on our ship or that will help us survive, maybe win against in PvP and escape with the artifact before the other teams on their ships do. That was great. And yeah, just the subversion of being in space and having to, kind of outrun and outmaneuver these other teams. It's not about. Third thing that I love is it's not a real battle royale game, and it's not like a hero shooter.
It really is its like own thing.
Yeah, haven't played anything like it.
There really isn't anything quite like Wildgate. I think you hit the nail on the head on all of your points. There's just something about the game that you think that it's you can't really put your finger on it, but you just want to keep that you're okay hitting that cue just over and over and over again. We played for what? 4 hours straight when you and I were playing.
Yeah.
And the game is so dynamic.
We were gripped.
The game is so dynamic. Yep. Things can happen. So many different things can happen at different times. Right now, you're seeing on the B-roll. I'm sandwiched in between 2 ships, and we're duking it out, we're in a 3-way dogfight. And I'm manning different turrets. I'm throwing repair drones. People are running around the ship, repairing it. I'm jumping from one turret to another, piloting the ship, jumping to a turret, trying to maneuver. Because, before I jump into run,
competitive multiplayer, first person, faster than light.
Yes, absolutely. Competitive multiplayer, first person, faster than light, or like Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. One of those kinds of complex like single player games but now with a multiplayer coat of paint. And before I get into the things that I really liked about the game and disliked, what was the number one thing you did not like about this game?
I think we agreed on this while we were playing. I hope I'm not taking the words out your mouth, but when you get a bad team,
yeah,
I think that is kind of the downfall of this game, because the minute we started playing it together, it took on just a whole new life.
Yeah.
And man, because team of 4 people, like if you have one other person to play with, that's half of your team. So you can at least keep the momentum going in any direction and communicate on voice chat if you have to. Having a strong team is really fun. But even if you have a bad team and like you only end up playing for like 15-20 minutes, it's still really fun and to try again. And I really like, the looting and shooting parts when you're off the ship. There's cool enemies to fight, different little like, orbiting space Hulk kind of. You have to explore this wreck or this old colony, or there's just little aliens running around, and a lot of that Blizzard aesthetic, that old Blizzard aesthetic. Like I'm like, is this like the green Zerg? Is this the booger Zerg that we're fighting, or like is this the purple Protoss instead of like the blue Protoss? The charm is there. I mean, it's very far from like Concord and feeling like you're choosing the teller at the bank you saw at the bus stop for characters,
I agree 100%. And actually, that is one of the number one things I enjoyed the most about Wildgate was the charm. This game actually has a lot of charm. This game has its own personality. All the characters, they're like quippy and they're like, dare I say, millennial coded, but it's one of those things where it's not overbearing. It's not, again, use a buzzword, Whedon-esque. It's not like anything that you would hear in a Marvel movie, and if it is, it's nowhere near as egregious. All of these characters actually feel like characters.
Yeah.
And they feel like guys like a ragtag group of misfits who jump onto a ship just to explore the vast open sea of stars. And I really was sold on that. It sold me on the fantasy, and I was very immersed. So the whole world of Wildgate and the characters in it and the charm just made everything so much better and so much more palatable as I played the game. And as I got to get better and better at the game, the next thing that I really liked was how, again, it came as a kind of a surprise, but how tight the game plays.
Yeah, I mean, even the auto aim felt pretty handy once you get the hang of like what gear you like and like what objective you're actually trying to get in space. It all comes together really nicely. And I even enjoyed the beta, preview was only for like 3 days, but I did a couple of the like progress missions. There are different like adventures you can take, because you have to do at least the first one to unlock like a different character. And I actually enjoyed like reading their backstories and stuff, and it seems like they're kind of doing a decent job building a world here that's not like Warcraft or Starcraft or former Blizzard action.
Yeah, or like Overwatchy. Like this thing seems like its own. It really does seem like its own thing. And I think the thing that honestly I loved the most was truly how robust the gameplay loop was. All of the jobs are rather important, and everybody needs to be doing something.
Yeah. Which is why it hurts so bad when you don't have a good team or somebody disconnects.
Or someone just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, a lot of cool physics too. You get kind of like a gravity hook shot. You can kind of float around in space, and like oxygen is a mechanic. You have to find vents while you're off the ship, or you can play as the robot, and the robot doesn't need oxygen. Ha 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 ha. Like that's pretty cool. I liked just even floating to like a chunk of ice to harvest it to cool our reactor. It was greatly varied in the moment to moment gameplay because anything could be happening. Like you could be kind of chilling, you could be shooting, or you could be like absolutely panicking. Your probe might run into another team's probe, and you're just like, okay, we're both out here probing around, huh? Like, well, you get that anticipation
ship, bro?
before like the battle, before the encounter, you know? Or
Yep.
I got a nice little clip of like two other ships fighting each other, and it's like, oh, steer clear of that. The old pilot Vector, you know, he knows his way around the fog. If you give him like a cosmic storm defense, like he'll take you right through that bad boy, and you might even just make it out the other side. Unlike the ships that don't have the right gear to weather the cosmic storm.
Man, I loved flying the ship. I loved playing. Just trying to be like a one-man
Only game with a
army.
laser ram.
Yeah, right. Trying to be like the one-man army, running around from the ship to one turret, like running around, activating one of the hard points, slamming the fucking the reactor cool, and then hook shotting back. You know, turning around when I see a guy trying to board the ship and being like, oh my god, I gotta let the ship cruise for just a second while I turn around and just shotgun this guy really quick. You know what I mean? And like you said, Drix,
just the fact that you can board each other's ships and like wreak havoc is intense.
It's
like,
intense.
I was constantly trying to get the bomb pack and like put it onto another ship just so I could say someone set up us the bomb. Because man, when that thing goes off on your ship,
oh
like,
my god,
that's tense. That is tough. That'll get your blood pumping. Awesome.
Another thing that's wild is when the maneuvers people end up doing. You know, we have a laser ram, like you're seeing it on the screen. It's like a big laser sword that you could attach to your ship. And you know what? That thing is literally, it does what you think it does. It slices, it dices, it minces ships into julienne fries. I'm about to do it on the B-roll right now. You're gonna see it. But I gotta say, Drix, it's not the only way that a ship can do melee damage. You know, you and I, we were the subject of a legit kamikaze attack. We took down a enemy ship, and then they realized they were going down and just flew into us. And like broke half our
ship.
They just
did not want us to have it. Yep. You better believe I was scrambling for repairs after everything was on fire.
It was crazy. It was one of those, there are so many moments in this game where you're like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe that we just got hit like that. I can't believe that we did that.
It's harrowing.
There are so many moments where you think that shit isn't going to get worse, and then the ship starts going sideways while you're fighting somebody on it. And it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And you're probably gonna need some big guns going out into space like that, competing with other ships for the artifact before warping out of that Wildgate.
So we're talking a lot about how much we love this game, and honestly, we do. I think this is one of those games that you're gonna see when it comes out. You're gonna see me and Drix streaming it like pretty decently often, but it's gonna be whenever we can get together and do it, pretty much. But the main deal with Wildgate is how important it is to understand the game.
Yeah, it might be a little cerebral, intellectual, might take a bit to grasp, but you'll definitely grasp it better than I grasp, Monster Energy Supercross 25.
Sure, right. But at this, and we're not trying to say anything like, oh man, like this game, it's like a thinking man's game. It's kind of not. At the end of the day, if you can FPS somebody down, you board that ship, take that shit out, and they're done. You know what I mean? It's Jover. Like, you just take them out.
Yeah.
There are so many times where Drix would board the ship. I would just laser ram the guy. They would shut down for just a moment, and I would just, you see it in the B-roll, me just roll up, slice and dice. Bzz, like, there goes the ship.
Yeah.
You know, so many times you could just sneak attack people and eliminate them completely from what you're trying to do. But you need to know what you're doing. And if it only takes one person to get behind the wheel of that cockpit and like completely freak out and drive into a meteor, and now you're totally fucked. And this game is completely foobar, and you might as well go on to the next game. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, you need that information. Somebody's got to get out there and probe around in space to know what's your next target, where's your next landing,
that's another thing.
Where's the artifact?
That's another thing I'm trying to say, though. It's like, it's so easy to even mess up at probing. Like, you can literally see, there's literally some times where people just probe and then they don't scan. They don't realize they need to, right? So they just look at shit for like the whole like minute. And it's like, where the fuck am I going? I don't know, you know? Like,
I need points on this map. You need to scan stuff. That's the point.
yeah. See, here we go. Laser ram duel.
Yep. Only game I can say I've seen that has a laser ram.
No, Casey. Here's the thing. This game is not difficult to grasp. It's not a hard game. This game is just it demands that everybody on the team do the thing that they choose to do. Just do the thing and you will succeed. If you do, and you could be good at like one or two things. Just do that thing and do it okay. You don't even need to do it good. Just do it okay. And you'll probably end up getting like either winning or being one of the last ships that remain. Because you know what? Me and Drix, when we teamed up, we were always either winning or one of the last ships. Very rarely would we would just get totally owned. And like, oh, well, you know, that was a fun like 4-minute game. You know what I mean? Very rarely. Like,
yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially once we started playing together. I was already kind of bit by the bug even before that, though.
Exactly. It's easy to, it sucks you in, and then the world and the characters are immersive. The weapons are funny, like you said. The dungeons, the enemies in the dungeons have a lot of personality, and everything in this game has a lot of personality. The weapons are like Jack and Daxter-esque. Ratchet and Clank weapons. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's hilarious. Like,
yeah. Gotta love the character design of the like almost like axolotl, kind of like a amphibious guy in a fish tank that's in a mech.
Yeah, that's in a robot suit who's like driving around. That's like one of my favorites because he's really good at repairs. So if I'm in the cockpit, I gotta really repair fast. You know what I mean? You're seeing it right now in the B-roll. The oxygen getting sucked out. Like, you know,
yeah, he can turn junk into something good.
Yeah,
you find a lot of junk in space.
You're inventing things, and that's the other thing. There's that little tiny bit of depth that every character brings to the table, and all those little things, they make such a world of difference, even though they're so simple. It's elegant. It's a very elegant design. It's a very well thought out and polished idea. I just think that maybe and taking a cue from Drix over here, it is kind of cerebral. You kind of need to be, I wouldn't say so cerebral as that you just need to be confident in what you're doing before you engage in doing it. And that is going to be where the point that makes or breaks Wildgate. Will it catch on? Personally, I don't think so. I think maybe this game might have a dedicated following. This game might have one of those things where it's like got a Dead by, like, I shouldn't say Dead by Daylight, where it has like a Smite thing going on, where it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's existing on its own and doing well. Because I don't think you play this game and Sea of Thieves. I don't think you play this game and Marvel Rivals. I don't think you play this game and another one of those games, because this game is just too demanding.
Players from Fortnite, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the goal.
It's just too demanding. It's too demanding. It's everybody needs to be, when you're playing Wildgate, you have to be locked in. And because if you don't lock in, you're just going to get crushed. It's a brutal game in that respect. In that respect of where you think it's going to be some sort of like lackadaisical thing. Not really. And the game isn't afraid to to teach you with a sledgehammer rather than a pillow. You know, the time to kill is
Yeah.
instant. Like, you can, like, if you take too many hits, you just die instantly. Your ship, if someone has good gear on their ship and totally bombs your ship out that has like little upgrades or no upgrades, you just totally get rolled over. No contest. They board your ship.
Or if the guy who's good at aiming ends up on your ship and aims right at you,
instantly
it's going to get a little hairy. You're going to have a bad time.
Instant kill you. He's going to kill the pilot. He's going to run behind the cockpit. He's going to lower the shields. And then the gunners are going to go to town. And like, it's brutal.
He's going to overload your reactor. And you made the mistake of leaving the station without any ice to cool your reactor.
Yeah.
Oof, bad move.
It is a brutal game. And I don't think that Joe Gamer, who's coming home from his 9-to-5 with a wife and 3.5 kids, or even coming home from your 9-to-5 and maybe doing a little bit of freelance work, or maybe you work a 10-hour day and you come home and you just want to crack a cold one with the boys and play a game. I don't know if Wildgate is going to be your game, simply because if one of the boys isn't locked in tonight, you're going to waste like 5 to 25 minutes.
Yeah. No, I think I have a decent squad of friends, though. I know enough people want to play space game, but I really do hope that this catches on. I know I'm gonna want to play the living shit out of this when it comes out.
I definitely think that I can't do it. Dang, Casey. But no, it's definitely Wildgate is worth your time. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for a different type of multiplayer competitive co-op competitive experience, this is your game. If you're looking for a new style of game that is that feels fresh, or maybe a little bit familiar with a new coat of paint, and that gives it a new like a fresh feeling, this is your game. There's a lot to love.
Yeah, if you want that if you like, No Man's Sky or even like Starfield, and you can imagine playing a PvP style Starfield or No Man's Sky experience, this is that. You know, the base building is all just your ship, and you better hope it can weather the cosmic storm.
And when it all comes together, it is a beautiful thing. The Wildgate beta is unfortunately over. I don't know if they're going to do another one.
Look at those two ships fighting while I was probing.
It was so awesome, and one of them just got annihilated. But so, like, I don't know if
such great battles we had.
Great so memorable, so many memorable moments. But that's Wildgate.
And memorable ship names too.
Yeah, again,
they were hilarious.
Part of the personality in this game is
the charm.
And the charm is, you see these ships, they all randomize names beforehand. You can get a ship out here called the Diggy Diggy Bam Bam. You're running out here with the Mungus, you know what I mean? Like
the Mighty Cheese.
We got Algorithm and Deep Dish right here. You know what it's just a great game. Like that cheeky Rareware-esque humor. It's fantastic. Again, there's so much to love with Wildgate, and it is a demanding game. I'm not gonna lie. There is a lot that a new player could get overwhelmed with, especially if they don't pick it up within the first few games. But you know what? If you stick it out and learn 1 or 2 roles, man, you're gonna have a great time.
Yep. Play with your friends.
Play with your friends. That's Wildgate.